Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're peeling back the glitzy facade of Hollywood to reveal the raw and heartbreaking struggles with drug addiction that some of the biggest stars have faced. From shocking downfalls to inspiring comebacks, we'll dive into the stories that have left a mark on the entertainment world and beyond. Let's jump right in with Bruno Mars, a celebrated singer, songwriter, and record producer who has taken the world by storm with hits like the catchy Uptown Funk and the touching Just the Way You Are. His immense popularity even landed him a spot on Forbes' list of the top 12 highest-paid artists globally. But beneath his incredible success, Bruno encountered a tough moment in 2010. It all went down at the Hard Rock Casino in Las Vegas on September 19th, when police found the then 26-year-old with cocaine. He admitted to the officers that he had acted foolishly, claiming it was his first time using drugs. As part of a plea deal, he agreed to stay out of trouble for a year to have the charges dropped. Bruno ended up paying a $2,000 fine and completing 200 hours of community service to clear his record. Later, he confessed in an interview that he had lied about his previous drug use, explaining that the incident stemmed from being young and intoxicated. Next, there is River Phoenix, a talented American actor and musician whose promising life was tragically cut short by a drug overdose. Despite his claims of being an occasional user, his struggles with substance abuse took a toll on those around him. His ex-girlfriend, Martha Plimpton, believed his drug use deeply affected their relationship, although they remained close until his untimely death in October 1993. After wrapping up filming in Utah, River returned to Los Angeles and reportedly went on a drug binge with his bandmates, mixing cocaine and heroin. The night before his death, he showed up at the Viper Room and confided in his friend Robert Forrest that he felt unwell and feared he might have overdosed, but Forrest brushed it off. Moments later, River collapsed outside the club. His girlfriend, Matisse, was devastated as she watched River convulsing on the sidewalk. Though he was still alive when the ambulance arrived, the attempts to revive him were unsuccessful. River was pronounced dead at 1:51 a.m. on October 31st, 1993, at just 23 years old. Then there's Brittany Murphy, the Broadway star known for her memorable roles in Clueless, Freeway, and as the voice in Happy Feet. Tragically, she passed away in late 2009 at the age of 32. Initially, her death was attributed to natural causes, but many found that hard to believe. At just 32, it's rare for someone to die unexpectedly like that, and rumors quickly circulated that Brittany had been using heroin and cocaine. Her dramatic weight loss in the early 2000s raised alarms, leading many to speculate that she was battling drug addiction. Her marriage to Simon Monjack only deepened the mystery surrounding her struggles, as he was often viewed as a troubled figure himself. Shockingly, Simon passed away just 5 months after Brittany. After her death, a coroner's report revealed various drugs found at Brittany's bedside, concluding that her passing was due to an overdose. Friends of Judy Garland have shared that her struggles with addiction began after she became dependent on pain medication following her cosmetic surgeries. While there are differing opinions on the exact cause of her downward spiral, it's clear that her life ended tragically due to her battles with drugs. Judy's co-star, Mickey Rooney, has been brought into this narrative. She claimed they both went through similar experiences with drug use at MGM. However, Mickey denied ever receiving drugs from the studio, leaving the truth clouded, especially since both stars have since passed away. Mickey's life ended with a heart attack on a Sunday, but before that, his stepson, Chris Hebert, painted a troubling picture of his father. Chris accused Mickey of being a violent husband, struggling with a dangerous addiction to sleeping pills, which, according to him, led to extreme mood swings and a history of abuse toward his 8th wife. Despite Mickey's charming public persona as a Hollywood icon, behind closed doors, he was described as angry and petulant. Sources revealed that he frequently tormented his wife, bending her fingers, screaming in her ears, and pinching her. His struggles with addiction only exacerbated this behavior. Chris noted that Mickey's collection of weekly medications was so extensive that it required a shopping bag to carry. Then there's David O. Selznick, the legendary producer of Gone with the Wind. While the film shattered records and garnered 10 Oscars, Selznick's behind-the-scenes actions were anything but glamorous. He was notorious for his bullying, often driven by drug-induced obsession with the actress's appearances, making life difficult for many on set. Selznick himself was reportedly addicted to Benzedrine, relying on the stimulant to power through the grueling hours of filming. David O. Selznick's infamous dependence on drugs became a topic of scandal, with stories of him crushing Benzedrine tablets and licking the remnants from his palm just to keep up his energy during the grueling production of Gone with the Wind. While the film itself achieved legendary status, the shadows of its creation reveal the heavy toll Selznick's drug use took on both himself and those who worked alongside him. Jumping to the late 90s and early 2000s, we meet Britney Spears, the princess of pop who revitalized teen pop music and became a cultural icon. But beneath the sparkly surface of her fame, Britney grappled with serious issues related to drug addiction and mental health. Everything shifted dramatically in 2006 after her very public divorce from Kevin Federline. This chaotic time revealed the depths of her struggles. Britney's life took a downward plunge, leading her to rehab, but things grew worse. Reports of a suicide attempt and troubling claims about her believing she was the Antichrist surfaced. Thankfully, after hitting rock bottom, she found the help she needed. With a diagnosis of bipolar disorder and successful completion of her rehab program, Britney began the tough journey of rebuilding her life. With the right treatment and support, she gradually took back control of her life and career. Then there's Daniel Baldwin, the second oldest of the Baldwin brothers. Despite his fame, Daniel faced severe addiction challenges. In 1998, he made headlines for an outrageous incident where he was found running naked through the halls of New York's Plaza Hotel, shouting his own last name before being arrested for cocaine possession. He later pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct and was sentenced to 3 months in drug rehab. Daniel Baldwin opened up about his fight with cocaine addiction, which kicked off in 1989, the same year he snagged his first acting gig. At just 29, he found himself deeply hooked on the drug, which took over his life. Unlike many addicts, Baldwin didn't drink heavily, pop pills or smoke. It was cocaine that had him in its grasp. He sought help and entered rehab 9 times before finally conquering his addiction. Today, Daniel has completely turned his life around. He's not only a respected actor, but also a rehabilitation coach, channeling his experiences to help others battling addiction. Then there's Jodie Sweetin, the beloved actress, best known for her role as Stephanie Tanner on Full House. After the show wrapped up, Jodie's life took a darker turn. She started drinking at just 14, and for the next 13 years, she struggled with substance abuse, dabbling in ecstasy, methamphetamine, and crack cocaine. In 2009, she published her memoir, Unsweetened, where she candidly shared her journey through addiction after Full House ended. She recounted challenging moments, like speaking at Marquette University while still feeling the effects of a 2-day binge. But despite these trials, Jodie found her way to sobriety in December 2008. After a setback in 2013 due to a separation, she refocused her life, taking on a role as a clinical logistics coordinator at a drug rehab center and earning her degree as a drug and alcohol counselor. Drew Barrymore's story is another poignant example. Her childhood was overshadowed by the harsh realities of Hollywood. She shot to fame at just 7 years old in E.T. the Extraterrestrial, but her life was anything but a fairy tale. Drew Barrymore was born into a famous family and was already working in a dog food commercial by the time she was just 11 months old. By age 7, she was enjoying Bailey's Irish cream over her ice cream. However, her childhood took a dark turn. By 11, she was grappling with alcohol, and by 12, she was caught in the grips of drug addiction. At 13, things spiraled so far out of control that she attempted suicide and ended up hospitalized. After her parents divorced when she was 9, Drew's mother exposed her to the wild side of Hollywood, taking her to places like Studio 54. This fast-paced lifestyle was far too intense for someone so young. By 14, Drew made the brave decision to emancipate herself from her parents, finding ways to survive by cleaning bathrooms. Despite facing numerous relapses and challenges, the support of friends like Cameron Diaz helped her turn her life around. Today, Drew is a successful actress and producer, living a fulfilling life far removed from the chaos of her early years. Now, let's talk about Judy Garland, the legendary star of The Wizard of Oz. Born Frances Ethel Gum on June 19, 1922, Judy rose to international fame at a young age, but her life behind the scenes was anything but glamorous. After signing with MGM as a teenager, she faced immense pressure that took a toll on her mental and physical health. As Judy navigated Hollywood, her struggles deepened. She was put on a strict diet, given amphetamines to keep her energy up, and had her weight constantly monitored. Even before she became famous for her role as Dorothy at just 17, Judy was already battling drug addiction. She later revealed that studio directors frequently handed out pills to her and Mickey Rooney to help them work through their exhaustion, followed by sedatives to help them sleep. As MGM's most prominent and hard-working star, Judy's addiction worsened, leading to multiple nervous breakdowns. Tragically, she passed away from a drug overdose at the age of 47 in June 1969, marking the end of a life filled with incredible talent, but overshadowed by profound pain. Next, Jeff Conaway, best known for his role as Kenickie in Grease, battled addiction throughout his life, a struggle that ultimately led to his death in 2011. His issues with substance abuse came to light during his appearance on Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, where he openly discussed his addictions to cocaine, alcohol, and painkillers. Although he recognized his problems in the mid-1980s and sought treatment, his struggles continued. On the show, it became clear that Jeff was in a codependent relationship with his girlfriend, who was addicted to prescription opiates. His own addiction was further complicated by a back injury he sustained during the filming of Grease, which worsened over time, causing him to rely on substances for pain relief. Despite undergoing multiple surgeries and claiming progress in a 2009 interview, Conaway's battle with addiction persisted. On May 11, 2011, he was found unconscious, believed to have overdosed on pain medication. Tragically, his addiction ultimately claimed his life. Next on our list is the iconic Marilyn Monroe, a star of Hollywood's golden age. Known for her mesmerizing performances and tumultuous personal life, Monroe captivated millions. Yet beneath the glitz and glamour, she faced her own demons, including substance abuse, depression, and possibly bipolar disorder. As Monroe aged, her mental health began to deteriorate. She started forgetting her lines, sinking into despair and paranoia, and increasingly turned to alcohol and drugs to cope. In 1962, her psychiatrist discovered her lifeless in her Brentwood home. The coroner ruled her death as acute barbiturate poisoning, marking a tragic overdose that ended the life of one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. In 2010, the world gained insight into Marilyn Monroe's inner turmoil when her poems, letters, and diary entries were published, revealing the deep loneliness and insecurity that fueled her addiction. Under intense public scrutiny, Monroe's struggles were exacerbated by the unauthorized release of her nude photos. Her poignant words, "It's a terrible thing to be lonesome, especially in the middle of a crowd," perfectly captured the isolation she felt amid her fame. Next up is Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. The world was shocked when, at just 42, Elvis was found dead, lying face down in the bathroom of his Graceland mansion. The vibrant star, once famous for his iconic hip-shaking performances, had become a mere shadow of his former self. The toxicology report revealed a grim truth. He died from a deadly cocktail of drugs, including Dilaudid, Percodan, Demerol, codeine, and Quaaludes. His personal physician, Dr. George Nichopoulos, often referred to as Dr. Nick, had been treating Elvis for various ailments, starting with saddle pain. However, what began as treatment soon spiraled into a full-blown opiate addiction. Dr. Nick later admitted to prescribing thousands of addictive pills to Elvis, often attempting to substitute placebos, but ultimately succumbing to the star's demands. Ironically, the man who once received a special badge from President Nixon for his anti-drug stance ended up dying from a drug overdose, highlighting the tragic grip of addiction. Then there's Mischa Barton, known for her standout roles in 12 Dreams and the soap opera All My Children. Like many actors, Mischa faced her own battles with drug abuse. You might recall the scandal involving a date rape drug allegedly slipped into her drink, but the reality of her struggles is more nuanced and complex than the headlines suggest. Mischa Barton was caught in a troubling downward spiral fueled by drugs. Text messages revealed her frantic efforts to score various substances like Adderall, Xanax, and Norcos, and she even mentioned a cocaine dealer she was familiar with. On her 31st birthday, she exhibited alarming behavior, standing on a fence in her West Hollywood backyard and screaming about the end of the world. Concerned neighbors called 911, and Mischa ended up spending the night in the hospital. Afterward, she claimed that someone had spiked her drink with GHB, a date rape drug, during her birthday party. Then there's Mary-Kate Olsen, known as one half of the beloved Olsen twins, who first won hearts as Michelle Tanner on Full House. Behind the scenes, however, Mary-Kate faced serious struggles. Battling self-image issues, she fell into unhealthy habits, including drinking and smoking, which led her to a severe battle with anorexia. Things took a turn for the worse in high school when she began attending parties where drugs like marijuana and cocaine were easily accessible, leading her to develop an addiction at a young age. Rumors swirled, especially after her boyfriend, Heath Ledger, tragically died from an overdose. Allegedly, Mary-Kate was the first person contacted after his death and sought legal immunity concerning the drugs involved. In the aftermath, Mary-Kate entered a 6-week rehab program to confront her anorexia, with hints that she was also dealing with substance issues. Fortunately, she has since turned her life around, embracing sobriety and moving forward from those dark times. We can't forget Corey Haim, the charismatic star of The Lost Boys, who rose to fame alongside his close friend Corey Feldman. Haim's journey through Hollywood was filled with promise, but like many young stars, he faced significant challenges along the way. While audiences adored Corey Haim for his charming performances on screen, few knew about the deep personal struggles he was battling behind the scenes. Haim's fight with addiction began in his teenage years, and as his career took off, so did his substance abuse issues. He openly admitted that the pressures of filming License to Drive pushed him further into addiction. Although he claimed to have turned his life around after a family vacation in 1989, the reality was much more complicated. By 2001, he had gone through rehabilitation centers up to 15 times, struggling mightily with his dependence on prescription medications. Tragically, Haim never fully overcame his addiction. In the final 32 days of his life, he illegally obtained over 553 prescription pills, a stark testament to his ongoing battle. While drugs weren't the direct cause of his death at just 38, his story serves as a powerful reminder of the hidden struggles faced by many in Hollywood. Then there's Joanna Moore, once celebrated as Hollywood's golden girl and the first wife of Ryan O'Neal. Born Dorothy Joan Cook, Joanna starred in over 17 feature films and made guest appearances in more than 100 TV episodes before addiction began to take its toll. In 1970, she sought help but found herself arrested for drunk driving less than a year later, resulting in the loss of custody of her children. In 1963, Joanna married her third husband, Ryan O'Neal, and welcomed 2 children, Tatum and Griffin. While Ryan's career soared, Joanna's faded, deepening her struggles with depression. After their divorce, she fell deeper into a world dominated by amphetamines and alcohol. She moved her family to a rundown ranch, trying to care for troubled youths. But her daughter Tatum later described the environment as chaotic and abusive, marked by rampant drug use and neglect. Joanna's downward spiral continued, and her heavy smoking ultimately led to her death from lung cancer in 1997. Ryan O'Neal, the charming American actor known for his roles in Peyton Place and the classic film Love Story, first captured the public's heart with his undeniable talent. But behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, his personal life was anything but smooth. It was marred by addiction and violent outbursts that often overshadowed his achievements. The allegations against Ryan are deeply troubling. He reportedly fired a gun at his son, Griffin, and introduced him to cocaine when he was just 11 years old, a choice Griffin claims irreparably altered the course of his life. Ryan's behavior has frequently been labeled as abusive, contributing to the O'Neal family's reputation as one of Hollywood's most dysfunctional clans, with nearly every member struggling with substance abuse issues. Ryan's tumultuous life came to an end on December 8, 2023. While his impact on film and television is undeniable, the chaos and heartbreak he inflicted on his own family are inseparable from his legacy. Then there's the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Rumors suggest he used up to 19 fake IDs to feed his drug addiction during the last 15 years of his life. A cultural icon of the 20th century, Michael's struggles began after a 1984 Pepsi commercial accident left him with severe burns, prompting doctors to prescribe opioids to help manage his pain. Michael Jackson later pointed to his 1984 accident as the starting point of his struggle with addiction. In 1993, he sought help by entering rehab and following a 12-step program. But despite his best efforts, the battle with substance abuse continued to haunt him. Friends and family tried to step in, but Michael largely stayed in denial and rejected their support. Tragically, his life came to a premature end in 2009 at the age of 50 due to cardiac arrest triggered by a cocktail of sedatives and propofol, a potent anesthetic his doctor had prescribed to help him sleep. That doctor was later charged with involuntary manslaughter, but it was too late to save the king of pop. Then we have Macaulay Culkin, the beloved child star from Home Alone, who faced his own set of challenges due to the pressures of early fame. He described his father as cruel and violent, and after his parents divorced, Macaulay took legal action at just 15 to prevent them from controlling his $20 million trust fund, leading to media headlines about him divorcing his parents. His fall from grace was hard for fans to watch. In 2004, at just 24, he made headlines when he was arrested in Oklahoma for possessing marijuana and 2 controlled substances without a prescription. He spent a short time in jail before being released on $4,000 bail. Rumors about his drug use lingered, and in 2012, troubling photos of a frail Macaulay holding an energy drink raised concerns about his health. Fortunately, Macaulay eventually turned his life around and found love with fellow child star Brenda Song. His endearing image as the innocent boy from Home Alone resurfaces every Christmas, reminding fans of the child who once captured hearts worldwide. Thank you for watching my video. There's a lot more to explore in the upcoming episodes, so stay tuned. Until next time, take care.